How does God move in the affairs of men? I will tell you this story about me. A number of years ago, I was at home and it was about 9:30 at night and I get a phone call. So this lady calls named Brenda from Mobile and she's coming into town. And she says she has to go to Academy and buy a gun. I said, well, when you get here, just holler at me and I'll go with you because you don't know anything about guns. She had been broken into several times. So she got there shortly after we made contact and we're sitting down at the table and I said, look, I've got a new revelation in the scriptures here. Let me read it to you. So I started to read it and all of a sudden I hurt. I went, hold on a second. So I went to the refrigerator, got a glass of milk. It hurt some more. I went, uh-oh, hold on. This is not right. So I went to the bathroom and got me an aspirin and took it. I come back, sat down at the table, and all of a sudden I got dizzy. I started hurting, constricting across my chest, and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I tried to talk and it was gibberish. I tried to get my phone and call my daughter, Missy. She's an emergency room doctor. I couldn't even handle my phone. My hand was shaking so bad. Brenda called for me, got in touch with Missy. It happened to be doing emergency at a hospital 30 miles from us. We drove 4 minutes to the hospital and went in the ER, and the little girl said, well, you go over there and sit down and I'll get your name and information later. Well, Missy was on the phone and she said, I heard that, give her the phone. She said, and evidently told her, I'm Dr. Traxler and I'm coming in and he's having a heart attack and you get my daddy in the emergency room right now where he can get treatment and I'll be there in a second. And they went out there real quick and started wheeling me in. She had told that girl, we'll fill out papers later. Well, I'm glad she had the authority to do that. So anyway, I'm in there and they come in and do a couple of stents and it didn't work. Oh boy. So they had to call in the specialist heart doctor who was going to do surgery on me, and Dr. Blaine. And so he comes in and they hooking me up to all kinds of stuff. And my daughter walks in. Well, in the meantime, my middle daughter walks in and my baby daughter walks in just before they put me to sleep. And each one of them asked me in turn, how you feeling? And I told them, look, I'm feeling good. And I asked Missy, I said, am I going to die? And she said, no, Dad, you're going to be fine. I asked Jody, my middle daughter, am I going to die? She says, no, Dad, you're fine. I asked Tammy, how about you? Am I going to die? And she says, no, Dad, you're going to be just fine. Well, I knew Jody's husband, who is also a doctor, Sean Sampson, I said, am I going to die, Sean? And he said, no, Mr. Smith, you're going to be just fine. You know what? I knew they were all lying. I knew it, and I just knew I was fixing to check out. Man, they had given me some nitro because I was hurting really bad. I was squirming all over the place. They said, you need to stop moving so we can do all this. And I said, I can't. I hurt too bad. So anyway, boom, I was out. And sometime later, ever how long it took them to do the operation, my oldest daughter, Missy, was standing over me. And she said, how does this feel, Dad? And she pulls out a lead. And then she said, how does this one feel? And she pulls out another one. Now, I'm not sure what all that was she was doing. But anyway, she finally got them all out. And she said, how do you feel now? And I said, I got the joy of the Lord. And another emergency room doctor hollered back, somebody write that down. That's going to be a classic. Nobody's ever said that coming out of heart surgery. It was the Widowmaker. I had a double bypass. So in the meantime, all of them are in the waiting room and they're asking one another, why did Dad ask if he was going to die? And they all had some kind of idea, and suddenly Tammy pops up and she says, I know. And she's the card, right? And everybody looked at her and they said, what? And she said, he was going to tell us where he hid the treasure. Ah! Well, anyway, it's good to have joy in the midst of affliction and operations. How does God work in our lives? Man, everything fell into place. That lady coming to town, Brenda, and driving me to the hospital, Missy being an emergency room doctor, being there and just less than 30 minutes. The doctors that were on hand were immediately there to do the surgeries, and everybody there to encourage and pray for me. I can't tell you how wonderful it is when God intervenes in your life and everything falls into place, even when you're going through tragedies. God bless you guys, and I love you. Bye.